Hi, we're the relationship coaches. My name is Lindsay.
And I'm Lisa.
And today we're talking about trust. And this is a giant topic. So, Lisa, how do you know if you have trust in your relationship?
That's such a good question. Because it sort of is a feeling, isn't it?
It is.
It's like a feeling where you feel close and connected with your partner because you trust them.
Yeah.
You trust the words that they say. You trust when they say they're going to do something that they're going to do it. You trust that when they say they're going out for lunch with Greg that it really is Greg. You trust when you ask them who they're texting on their phone and they also say Greg, you believe them.
It's Greg, yeah.
Right? So
their actions. You're trusting their words and their actions.
Yeah, but it does. It sort of lives within you. It is a feeling of being able to trust, and I think that it's fluid. So I don't think that we wake up every single day and saying, I trust everything about my partner. I think it has a lot to do with like how we're feeling. So if I'm feeling insecure, if I'm having a bad day, maybe I'm more suspicious or more cautious or more questioning of that trust in my relationship. So it is something that happens individually as well as it's something that you're co-creating.
Yeah, relationally as well. Yes, I love that. That's so true. And that is true too about what we bring to a relationship, right? Like you bring your ability to trust as well with you.
And so much of that is based on all your past, right? The baggage, we call them packages that you're bringing from past relationships, all of your family of origin. If you've had trust broken in your relationships in the past, then chances are you're like on the lookout for it, right? Like, can my partner be trusted?
Trusted, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. When we talk about trust with our clients, or actually when we talk about connection with our clients, the word that comes up all the time is, well, I feel close and connected when there's trust in our relationship.
And it's the most important thing.
And it's the most important thing. And a lot of people would say that trust is really just being completely open and honest. Like having complete open and honest communication. But who really has that?
Right? Yeah. No, it's true.
Like do you tell your partner everything?
Of course not. And I wouldn't personally, this is a personal choice, I wouldn't want them to tell me absolutely everything too. I think it's important that we do have our own like inner world and inner dialogue, that we don't share everything with our partner. So then it comes, begs the question, like, how much should we share with our partner in order to be honest and to build that connection?
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Giant question and so important. So so how do you break trust then?
Breaking trust. So, I mean, the big thing that we always think of when we think of trust being broken, of course, is like lying, cheating, infidelity.
Yes. Infidelity is the biggest one, right? And that's what a lot of people come to us for is, well, I don't trust my partner anymore because they had an affair, whether that is like an emotional affair, whether it's a physical affair, whether it's been like 12 months in the making, or it was a one-time, one-off, one-night thing.
That was 12 years ago, right? So a lot of the time when there's been cheating and infidelity, and just to, speak to that, it is very common in relationships. It does happen. Like monogamy is hard.
Yes.
Monogamy is a social construct that that a lot of people are trying to work really hard at and
because they've chosen it,
right?
Yes.
And people mess up along the way, right? And I think one of the toughest things for couples to get over is rebuilding that trust after there's been an infidelity. And like you said, it could be a boyfriend or girlfriend in Sweden. It could be just a one night stand that it could
with
be
a coworker, happened when they were least suspecting it, you know?
It could be a lunch that they went on with their ex, but they didn't share it with you and then you found out about it, right? So there's small and big ways of,
Well, see, now you're kind of diving into those small ways. Some people would not consider that infidelity and some would. And so, when we talk about trust, it's often the big things like infidelity that come up. But I think what's important and what you just brought up is that trust can and is broken in the small ways. And that, I think, is the biggest thing when clients come to us and they have a disconnect. They're not feeling close and connected, but they can't pinpoint why. It is usually because they don't have a strong foundation of trust.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean there's been infidelity.
No, that's true. So let's talk about some of the small ways that trust is broken then, right? That's like the not showing up. So, you said you were going to be here at 6:00 for dinner and you weren't, and that happens continually. So you start to not believe that they're going to be there when they say they're going to be.
Yeah, which breaks it down, right? It just breaks down trust over time. Yep.
Maybe it's something that you shared with them privately in secret, trusting that they wouldn't share it with anybody else, and then you hear that they did. They shared your secret or somebody else's secret that you had shared with them, and you overhear them sharing that. So that's another way of, like, a small way to break trust.
Absolutely. White lies in general are small ways to break trust. Like, if you were supposed to show up to dinner with me and you showed up 10 minutes late and you were like, oh, sorry, traffic, I'd be like, yeah, no biggie. But then if I found out later, like, you went out after work with, like, a friend for a drink, and that was why you were late. Also not a big deal, but because you lied about that.
Yep. It's going to make you think, what else are you lying about? And that's actually, the white lies thing is really interesting. So I would love you to think about, like, when was the last time you told a white lie? Because I went on, like, a bit of a truth inventory myself recently, and was, like, also looking to my kids and my friends. And it's interesting because often people white lie as a way to avoid the discomfort of telling the truth. Right? So they sort of say, like, oh, I just got so wrapped up, that's why I couldn't call you on your birthday, instead of just saying, like, I forgot it was your birthday, because that's uncomfortable, right? Yes. The truth is often uncomfortable, and so we create these little white lies to make the other person feel better and to make ourselves feel better.
Yeah.
But you're right, that breaks away at the foundation of trust in your relationship.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Other things, that leads me into thinking, like, ignoring bigger things too, like ignoring just having hard conversations in general, or that stonewalling that people can do, right? Like, where you basically give the silent treatment and you refuse to have those conversations.
Yeah.
That breaks down trust.
Yes. Or you bring something up over and over again, and eventually your partner just says, I don't want to talk about that anymore. It's still a problem for you, but it's not a problem for them. So they just say, you know what, get over that. We're not having that conversation, right? So they're putting that block there, and then you don't feel like you can come to them, or you're walking on eggshells about that topic.
Yeah.
Breaks down trust.
And that is really about not getting what you need from your partner.
Yeah.
And there's so many ways that we cannot get what we need from our partner.
Yeah.
When your partner's not loving you the way that makes you feel loved, right? That can also break down trust.
Yeah. If your partner knows that you need that physical connection, or that you need that emotional connection, or you need that quality time in order to feel close and connected to you, and they're withholding that for some reason, then that can break down trust.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So isn't this, like, there's so many ways, small ways, that trust can be broken down. So let's talk then about, like, what are the kind of key pillars or foundations of how you build trust?
Yes. So if it's the number one most important thing in relationships, then how do people get it? How do you attain it in your relationship and maintain it? So, I mean, the first way is truly being real, authentic, genuine, and honest with your partner. So it's sharing your truth with them. That sounds so easy and basic, but it's hard. It is hard to tell your truth.
Yeah.
It is hard to be vulnerable with your partner. It is hard to say to them, I actually really don't like it, when you talk to me, in that way. It hurts my feelings. Or maybe it's more something in the bedroom, like, actually this certain way that you touch me is a total turn off to me. Like, that's a hard conversation to have.
Super hard, because you're being so vulnerable, right?
Yeah.
Really, what you're talking about, this being honest, being real, it's about sharing dreams, sharing fears, sharing your deepest feelings without any judgment. So in a safe space, that's what you're talking about right now.
Yeah.
And it, like you said, it can be really hard. Another example of that is, like, if you're in a job or a career maybe that you are just not happy in, and you have this dream of owning your own business, and you want to quit your job, but you also have these fears of quitting your job, like, how many people talk about those deep dreams and fears with their partner?
Yeah, it's so true. Or maybe you're working with somebody who, doesn't make you feel good or important or valued. at work, and it's really affecting your home life, like sharing that with your partner, like I feel like this person doesn't like me or doesn't respect me at work. When you want your partner to like and respect you, it can be a really hard thing to do, to share with them, that vulnerability.
Yeah, because you're really talking about your self-esteem there and your self-worth.
Yeah.
That's hard.
It is. Yeah.
So if being honest and being real, that's a key component, first key component of building trust. The second key component of building trust, what we say is just being there.
Mm-hmm. What does being there mean?
Yeah.
So it's showing up when you say that you're going to show up. It's remembering to remind your partner that, it's their dad's birthday because you saw it on the calendar.
Yeah.
Right? It's the little ways of truly showing your partner that you have their back.
Yes. Not only when things are good, but also when things are shitty. So maybe you're in a fight with your partner, maybe you guys aren't super connected, and you have a choice in that moment to remind them about their dad's birthday or not.
Yes.
It's about doing it even when things are shitty.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Gottmans often refer that to like turning towards, right? So we always say like, when things are tense, are you turning away from your partner, or are you turning towards them? And when you're choosing to turn towards them, you are building that trust.
Building that trust. Yeah.
You're letting them know, like, I see you, you matter, I can see you're upset, and I'm ready to talk. Right?
Yes.
So it's also getting uncomfortable. It's doing things that you don't necessarily want to do, but that are so important to your relationship.
Yeah.
And conversations and having those hard conversations is one of the things that so many couples avoid, right? Because they're hard.
They are hard.
Yeah.
And Lise, you said something earlier that it was earlier today, so you guys aren't missing anything in the video yet, but it was so good. You said, like, trust is a gift that we can give someone, but it's also something they have to earn.
Mm-hmm. Yes, absolutely.
Talk about that, because I love that so much.
Yeah, so the idea is that you don't just start a relationship and immediately trust them, right? It's built in small ways over time. And when your partner has proven to you that they can be trusted, they've shown up when they said they were going to, they reminded you of things, they supported you through tough times, then it's almost like this idea that you're building up, this trust. You're building, it's building. And then because you have it, it's like you can then believe the things that they say. You can believe that when they say they're going somewhere, they are, and you kind of stop questioning that. Yeah. And that is one of the best gifts that you can give them, right? And what makes me think about is when you don't trust them, the things that we see our clients, and you see it in every like movie and show as well, when somebody doesn't trust their partner, they become almost like a spy or something in their lives. They're questioning, like, when they're on their phone and they're texting someone, they're like questioning who they're texting, or maybe they wait for their partner to go to the bathroom and they're looking like who they've texted, or tracking them on their phone. You hear of all these like, really heartbreaking things when trust is broken in a relationship.
They become the worst version of themselves, right? Because let's be clear, they don't feel good after they do those things.
No, what an icky feeling to not be able to trust what your partner's doing and saying, and that just doesn't lead anywhere positive.
No.
Right? So
if you're wanting to build trust, 2 pillars: be honest, be real, and be there. And so that's to build trust. What about if trust is broken? Are the same things important to rebuild it if it's been broken?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. That is your key. Those are the things that need to happen. And it can be even harder when trust has been broken, right? So it's important to take the small steps. It's built in those little moments over time.
I think that's important, the over time piece, because when clients come to us and there has been a big break of trust, the person who has broken the trust often wants things to come back quicker than they can.
So it takes patience, right? It takes patience in the relationship. And you're right. It's something that can be broken like this, but it takes, time to build it back up.
Yeah. So what's the main point here? What's the key? The key is that trust can be broken in the big ways, but more often it's broken in all those small ways. And it can only be built and rebuilt in small ways over time.